Hi guys, it's Blackie and welcome back to the channel. Okay, continuing in the ground pounder series, I would like to give you a couple of tips and tricks about the Alice Pack frame. Now we've already talked once earlier about the frame, but I want to give you another little bit of it. And this is going to regard the straps. Now let me say up front, to my knowledge, and there's probably more, there are 5 types of straps that have been used in the long history of the Alice Pack frame, which went from the 1960s all the way into the 90s. So in that 30 years that the U.S. Army used that pack, there were some adaptations. There were the short pads, there were the longer pads, there were the wider pads, there were the H pattern pads, and then there was an H pattern pad that had a chest lock in the middle of it. That's the 5 that I'm aware of, but there's probably more. Now for this, we're going to be talking about the basic one, which is the short pad that they first came out with in Vietnam, and this is what I bought off of Walmart.com. So just to give you an idea. But what we're going to talk about is why this attachment strap is so long at the top of it. This was so you could adjust the pack to your body style, your body shape, etc. Now, let's talk about the frame for a second without that. With just the frame itself right here, and I've said in an earlier video, I did this in my complete thing about the Alice Pack that I did like 2 years ago. I talked about how to put that handle on there. But where the kidney pad fits onto the body, because how long is your torso? See, some guys, for this kidney pad, if they cinch the straps up, it's way up here, you know, and so it's way up here at their neck, and it's actually that weight belt is at the kidneys, not down on their hip. So you want to be able to put it down on the hip, and you're going to have people with longer torsos. Now, I'm an average sized guy, but you see where it is. You know, it's about even with my collarbone through, you know, down the back, but it's about even with your collarbone on me on that side. So I need that strap to be able to hook to it and then curve to put my shoulder in the sweet spot in the middle. I don't need it like this where I'm only getting a little bit of pad if it's too narrow, so to speak. That also wants to pinch, because here's that rigid frame right here, and it'd be like that and it'd want to pinch you. See, I need it a little further down the back, so that weight belt is sitting on my hips, not up here at my kidneys where it's just going around my belly, not doing nothing there. I want it to sit on the hips at about where your natural waist is and where your belt would be in a standard, you know, wearing jeans or whatever. It needs to sit there. So you need to be able to adjust. So this strap has to be longer so they can adjust the depth on you. Now once you determine the depth, you can do what I've done, cut it off and hold it in a lighter and sear it so it's not this. Originally it was about that much longer, and I cut that much off because I didn't need it. Now I use these straps on my Nighthawk rucksack, but let's talk about it on here for a second. As I said in the last video, you've got these little dividers right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and go through that divider, and then we're going to go up over the frame. So all that divider is doing is keeping this from sliding back and forth. Then you come up and you go through the buckle like so, pull it fairly snug, double it over, and go back through the buckle like that. Okay, now leave it a little bit loose. Now what you want to do is you want to be able to put this on, and then leaving that a little loose, you need to sit it down at your hips, okay, which is about like right there on me. And then you would adjust this strap so that it's, see if it's a little further down, see how much more I'm got more padding, so to speak. If I pull it way up here, how little padding I got, and that frame's going to dig into my shoulder. So it needs to sit like that, depending on how long your torso is. With me, it would sit here, just about like that. So I need to make sure that I've got this. Actually, usually about just past that is where the top of my shoulder is. So I always say that that reinforcement for the buckle, right in front of that, going back toward the bottom, that's where I want on top for me. By doing that, it gives you more flexibility. It also slides off your shoulders easier. Remember, this was a military pack, and the idea was for them to dump the packs. You'd hit the disconnect and it would just fall off of you. Hit the belt, hit the disconnect, and it fell off. And so they wanted it to slide off you easily. Hence the reason that this material is so slicky. See? Now, I have known people that have gone and added a little bit of thin rubber or something to, or put Ranger bands around it to keep it from walking off so easy. That's up to you. You're not in combat. Hey, go with what works. But also a chest rig of some way to hook the two straps together is an advantage, because once I get it on me, I get it cinched up like this. If it wants to do that and slide off while I'm hiking, then what I can do is right here, I can run me a piece of paracord with a quick disconnect and pull it in to make an H. That's the reason they eventually came up with the H harness, was for that, because guys under these heavy loads twisting and doing like this, it kept wanting to slide off. If you didn't have, again, it's your body, how broad your shoulders were. See, a lot of guys are kind of narrow. Even though they may be muscular and strong, and there's nothing wrong with them, they're just not that wide this way, see? And because of that, they didn't have much shoulder to hook on to. So they were carrying most of the weight on their hips. And they go to do this, and their shoulder starts sliding. It wants to slide down. So the chest harness came in, where it had that snap right here. If you don't have that set of Alice Pack straps, all you got to do is just take a piece of paracord, hook it to, go through and tie a knot on one side, so that once you get it on, you run it under, come over here and just tie a bow right quick. I've done that 100 times under heavy loads, and it holds the straps toward each other so they don't slide apart. It's easy to get off. All I gotta do is just grab it. I always, when I tie the bow, I leave one longer. That way that's one hanging down here, and that's when I grab the pull and everything just comes loose, right? The quick disconnect on the straps, where you snatch and it pops loose. This allows you to drop the pack in a hurry. When you put the straps on the pack, make sure that's on the dominant or weak side. Do I want it on my weak side, or do I want it on my dominant side? Each has advantages. I will quite often put it on my strong side, but I have friends who are right-handed, and they keep it on the left, because that way it's a conscious effort. They're grabbing stuff all the time over here, sidearm or whatever, or canteen or whatever that they put onto the web belt, or the weight belt portion of it, and they're constantly moving over here. So they want to move that quick connect over here so they don't accidentally hit it. See, this way it's a conscious effort. Grab it and pull it, or grab it with the left hand and pull it. Either way works. Alice Pack straps are abundant, relatively cheap, still manufactured. I mean, I bought those through Walmart.com. But it's how you put them on the pack is going to be how much enjoyment you get out of it. When I made the Nighthawk, I intentionally picked it to take those Alice Pack straps, because I don't know what your body style is. Whether you're narrow, wide, a little more awesome, whatever. And because of that, you find the best straps that fit you. And then other commercial replacement straps that would go onto another pack could also fit onto the Nighthawk to fit you. But since the Alice Pack straps are so available, and I made my pack, my Nighthawk, to fit onto an Alice Pack frame, for those of you in winter that wanted a frame, because you're carrying a heavy load for whatever reason, and a frame was just better. You could pick up one of these Alice Pack frames and have the best of both worlds. Adaptability, that's the thing. So, if you've got a pair of Alice Pack straps on your pack and it's digging into you wrong, here's how to fit it. 1, loosen the straps up at the top. Get a friend to help you out, okay? Loosen the strap ups at the top with the load you want to carry. Put it so it's all sitting on your hips. Once that's done, have them tighten up the shoulder strap until it's at that point I just discussed. so that where this buckle is sewed, right there is straight up over the top of your shoulder. You know, right there. Then have them adjust this strap on it till it's good and snug. Then you adjust the lower strap to pull it snug against you, okay? Then the excess strap on here you cut off. Don't cut it up blood tight. Always leave yourself a little bit of space, see, so I can adjust. But what I do is like this is I take it and I go back, I come back through, and then I want it to come through here at least an inch or two, so that I'm not going to accidentally flip the thing and lose it. Have it unhook. Just like that. So I've got that little tab. I'll then double that tab off, come underneath if it's on an Alice frame, and go through that little node right there and stuff it back forward so it's not going to catch on anything. It'll hang just like that and not bother you at all, that little tab. It keeps it from flopping around and keeps this clean, see, so I don't have to worry about hanging it by accident, reaching back to grab something and pop, because remember, this buckle lifts up to release tension. So if I lift up by accident, zip, this thing can fall off of me. And it was a way in combat that they could get it off of you, or going up really steep embankments. The idea was they could loosen this up and let the pack ride more vertical instead of leaning forward you. So if you were mountain climbing, you could open up and let the pack sit more vertical. That was the idea. For our application, just do it this way. Hope this gives you some ideas, guys. Please leave any questions or comments down there. And there's more stuff coming up in the Ground Pounder series about all the Alice gear and military surplus I can get a hold of. Till next time, guys, I'm Blackie wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.